talking about how much he loves coming here and hanging out. He keeps a car here, you know.
Yeah. Well, I have a sort of a. I think like most people, I have a sort of a love-hate relationship with it. No, not really a hate relationship with it. Sometimes I come here and think, well, wow, you know, I think I could probably live here.
Yeah.
And then I come back other times and think, oh God, I'm really glad I don't live here.
Yeah,
you know?
right. When as soon as you just, the smog, the atmosphere, the density of humanity.
It's not so much the smog or anything else like that. I think sometimes it's the, I don't know what it is.
The industry, the hard,
no, I don't
the
know.
raging.
No. I don't know what it is. I think sometimes I find the place really vibrant. Sometimes I come here and I think it's really boring.
It is.
So also I'm conscious that America is and LA in particular is a great place to be if you've got a credit card and no restrictions.
That's true.
And a terrible place to be if you're poor or and everybody's nice to you if you're famous and on the up and up or whatever.
It tends to be a bit more shallow than back east, like New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I'm conscious of that. And most of my time spent working with people was all spent with people out in the valley, and they were all, Mexican American or Latino, and very different culture, and much more the kind of people that I'm used to working with, because they're all kind of family, and so it was all built on respect and honesty and stuff, and you hang out. Whereas I find that some of that whole Hollywood scene over here, I never liked it when it was in the 80s, and it hasn't changed at all. It's full of kind of cheesy white boys that want to be famous.
Yeah.
And they all congregate in LA, and none of them are from here. Obviously.
No.
And the whole Velvet Rope thing and everything, I don't get it. I'm not interested in it, and so I stay as far away from all that shit as possible.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't see you in the tabloids.
And you're not in the tabloids often, or Hello magazine.
No, I've never been in.
And you've never been in the 3 a.m. girls in the Sun.
No, I've never been in there either. No, I've no interest in that at all.
But they don't find you, groveling around in the drunken stupor in front of the Groucho Club.
No, so obviously if you don't do that, then you don't tend to find yourself there. If they want to, they'd probably find me tinkering with my airplane at Santa Monica or something.
Right.
But it's not really newsworthy. Man cleaning windshield. Okay.
Shock horror.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Mexicans in the Valley?
I was making solo records.
But why? What were they doing?
They were making solo records too.
Oh, so you had a lot of Mexican Americans in your band that you worked with musically?
Yeah.
Oh,
great.
Where did you record it? That what can we call it? I mean, I
recorded a little studio in Burbank.
Oh, in Burbank.
Silver Cloud.
Oh, yeah. Because our paper's based in the Valley, and it's all over the place anyway.
It was a band called, initially it was a band called the Tribe of Gypsies who were based out there, and I heard their stuff, and I was like, oh, this is absolutely fucking awesome, this is. And so I eventually, by hook or by crook, they ended up with a deal with Mercury.
Yeah.
And the producer, a guy called, the guitarist in the band, Roy Z.
Yeah.
I wrote a bunch of songs with him. We did 3 records together. He produced 2 of Rob Halford's records.
Yeah.
A few other things. Very, very talented guy. We just hit it off, and I really like the people over there.
Yeah.
Over the other side of the hill, I like it.
That's fantastic. That's very incredible. I've never heard anyone say that about it over there. That's great.
I thought they were great.
Well, I met Paul Rogers once over there. He was recording a solo album somewhere over there. But he just would, come over the hill for the day and then go back. He didn't particularly like it there. He just happened to be recording.
No, I like the people over there. There's a big difference. There's places over there where you sort of go, wow, this kind of, great place to live in some respects, and one or two places, but there's some really nice places out there, you know.
Right.
But people live where they live. It's not their fault, you know. It's
That's right.
just that people are people, you know.
That's right. That's how I used to feel about Camden Town back in the late 60s.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Nice
Camden,
place to visit for, you know, for a few drinks.
Camden has this kind of, you know, Camden got very hippie
Yes,
chic and all the rest of it, you know,
unfortunately.
so, right.
What part of North London are you from?
I'm not from North London. I live in West London. I live in the burbs. I'm Mr. Boring Burbs guy. I've got 3 kids and, you know, everything else. Like,
Originally, though, where was it that you actually came out
I'm
of?
from a little town close to a place called Sheffield, which is up in the
Sheffield.
north.
Yeah.
Think Pittsburgh as an American equivalent.
Right.
You know.
You know, Joe Cocker's. Well, why are so many good singers from Sheffield? Around that area.
Not that many good singers from Sheffield. The Human League are from Sheffield.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Jarvis Cocker.
Oh, right.
And Joe Cocker.
Wow. Yeah.
You know. So we have
You're from around there.
Yeah, Def Leppard are from there.
And Def Leppard. Okay. That's quite...
Yeah, there's a sort of yeah, there's quite a bit of music around there. I
Frankie
suppose.
Miller, I think was he from
Scotland.
No, Scotland, right.
Yeah.
Brilliant. God.
How old is your oldest kid?
He's 13 in September.
What does he listen to?
He listens, well, I've got an interesting spread, you see. I've got, he's basically called it 13, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. My 13-year-old listens primarily to kind of European metal stuff.
Euro.
And he really likes that. Given the choice between that and other stuff, he picks that.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old's really into skateboarding and everything else, so he likes like the whole Sum 41 stuff and everything else like that. And they have big discussions, so they go off and have a little, and then I throw some old Deep Purple record at them and they're sort of discussing.
Is your 13-year-old heard
You know, well, our stuff.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes, they listen to all of my records and Maiden's records and Judas Priest's records. They've got the whole catalogue, you know. I mean, they've got a drum kit and several guitars, so they both play drums and they both play guitar and everything else. And one guy has a band at school and the other one is thinking about it, you know. And so, you know, I mean, if I want to know if something's decent or not, I mean, I just play it to them and sit back and ask them.
Yeah.
And they give me an honest, unbiased opinion. Usually they're absolutely bang on, spot on.
I read a whole article about how, 14-year-old girls, that's who knows what's cool and what's not cool. You go to them.
That age group,
It
huh?
was comical.
Oh, okay.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, my kids, I mean, I mean, they are, I mean, you know, my eldest, they know all the, most of the cool stuff. I mean, he writes all his own comics and cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
You know, The Far Side and Monty Python big time, you know. And he's a huge movie fan. So, you know, he's seen all the R-rated stuff way before I get to go see it, you know. Partly because he goes to school, some of the kids he goes to school with, well, you know, their dads are film producers, so he goes around their house, and all of a sudden he sees all these, you know, and he goes, wow, Dad, I've seen this, you know.
Right.
You know.
How do their mates treat you? I mean, are they just dad? I mean,
just dad.
You're just dad. You're just their dad. I mean, it's not as if
You don't walk around with spikes.
Right.
I don't walk around with spikes on stage.
You don't even do that anymore.
No, you know, I'm dad, you know.
Right. Do you fly in America?
Yeah, I'm.
Are you here now? I mean, is your plane somewhere here in L.A.?
Yes, I flew in from El Paso and Vegas this morning.
Oh, I thought you just did European flights. Oh,
as a professional pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but over here, I've got a guy we own a. Between the two of us, I've got a partner in the airplane, and we own a pressurized Cessna twin over there. And I actually flew the band in it about 3 or 4 years ago, all around the world on 2 world tours, ferried it across the Atlantic twice.
That's incredible.
And
that's pretty amazing.
And had so. And then, I mean, at the moment, I'm sort of bus driver really, because Steve's had his family out at the moment on the road.
Right.
So I've been flying them around Texas and dropped them in Vegas from El Paso. We did a gig last night, so dropped them in Vegas and came here. And I'm back to pick him up and take him to Denver tomorrow.
That is incredible. You were still going to kick then out of flying. I mean, it's still fun?
Oh God, yes, I love
Yeah,
flying.
it must be amazing.
Yeah, I love flying. Flying is one of those things like music that as soon as I started flying 11 years ago,
Yeah.
it was one of those road to Damascus type conversions where you go up there and suddenly you look around you and go, wow, this is an open-ended book here. This thing just goes on until you can't do it anymore, and you can still learn about it.
Mm.
You know, there's no, every day's going to be different. Nothing will ever be the same.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that. You know, and you see the most amazing things.
What are some of the more unusual things you've seen lately?
Lately?
Yeah.
Lately, I'm looking at thunderstorms going to 55,000 feet.
Oh, of course, right. Yes, they are having them up there. What about, you weren't anywhere near New York during the blackout, any of those areas?
In the blackout?
Yes, over there, that, part of the country. East Coast.
No. I was watching it in, I was in San Antonio. I was in Texas all last week, so we were...
All last week, yeah.
We were watching it. You know, my experience in New York tragedies has been was limited to being there during 9/11.
Oh,
so that was.
You were in New York?
Oh, you were in New York during that?
Yeah, I was supposed to be leaving the evening when it happened. So
Yeah.
I was actually flying for an airline at the time, back in the UK, flying 757s.
Yeah.
Which of course was one of the airplanes I used. So I'm sat there with my 757 manual.
Yeah.
It's 9 in the morning, it's a gorgeous sunny day.
Right.
I'm sat there getting a last bit of sunshine. And I hear all these sirens and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. And then somebody came on the roof and said, there's a plane here, the World Trade Center.
Oh, my God.
And I thought little sightseeing airplane.
Yeah.
I didn't think airliner.
Yeah.
But then the next thing I heard were these two jet fighters coming down low over the Hudson River. That's when I thought, this sounds very strange, you know. And then they told me what it was, and I thought, oh boy, I guess I'm not going home tonight then.
Yeah.
How long were you stuck there?
I was not too long. I was 5-6 days.
Yeah.
You know, it was a most surreal experience. It really was. It was very, very strange.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
quite unimaginable, actually.
Unimaginable, really is. New York has cornered the market on terrifying science fiction, 50s style Godzilla, panic in the streets,
Always has
extravaganzas.
Well, it's great because it has skyscrapers and things like that. But
Yeah.
Godzilla can hang off, you know.
Right. People streaming into the streets in panic.
Yeah. Well, because that's what was odd. That nothing like that happened.
Yeah.
There was no panic and nobody street. They walked very slowly just up and down all the avenues because there was no traffic.
Yeah.
Everybody clutching cell phones.
Right.
And everybody scratching their heads going, what do we do now? You know, that was it. I mean, it was just all very quiet, and that's what made it even more weird, because there was this horrific thing going on 2-3 miles away, and yet it was bright sunshine and people were walking around, and there was nothing you could do. So it's just
Right.
so it was very odd. I mean, I wandered around and went to join the queue to give an armful of blood,
Right.
and they told everybody to go home.
Yeah.
Is that something
Incredible.
that you might tackle lyrically?
No.
You
No.
leave it alone?
I would leave it completely alone. I don't see how you could take an event like that and even remotely do anything without being crass.
Yeah. Springsteen.
Well,
Maybe somebody like Springsteen could. No, I mean, maybe
Yeah, not
somebody
for,
like
the, not for the metal, I guess.
no, maybe somebody like Springsteen could. But the only way to do it, I mean, it's such an incredibly personal thing. because
Yeah.
the only way to deal with something like that is from a personal point of view. So you'd have to write the song from a personal point of view. Metal songs, you know, it would to me, unless it really came from the, you know, from the heart, it would just smack of exploitation, and therefore I don't think it would be appropriate for us to do it.
Right. And it's very hard to rhyme the word 11.
And you gotta.
It's a really stupid thing
Thank
to
you.
say.
Thank you.
We got one at the minute. I assume you don't have much time. If I could ask a few questions.
Yeah, of course.
If you have to.
What do you got? 10 minutes?
I've no idea. I've got no idea. You know.
No,
Whatever they
we'll let him have a
Okay.
go. We'll let him have a go. All right.
Let's start with the present. Staying in shape. Do you have an exercise regimen? Because I know the concerts are kind of.
How are you? I can't. I am
thought you were like
47.
35.
Yeah, I'm 45.
I can't. Why is that possible? How are you in such amazing shape?
And the rock and roll people are supposed to be all shagged out.
Yeah, what happens? We're gonna have Dunhills and an overflowing ashtray, and a pint of Guinness and some vodka. What is?
Don't know. Just I guess good genes. I guess.
Right.
I mean, you don't have like an
Tommy
exercise regimen, or?
No, I just when I'm touring. I mean, we do 5 shows a week.
You know that's
You know, I mean, I lie in a darkened room most of the day. Thank you very much. And, you know, so that's my exercise regimen.
Yeah.
Because I run around on stage.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm not touring, I don't do anything excessive. You know, I just take the stairs every now and again.
Right.
And,
Okay.
London's a great place because you can walk and you can take the subway and you can. It's like New York, you know. People get used to walking. You know, if you walk 10 blocks in New York or 20 blocks or 30 blocks rather than take a cab, you know, you get there in pretty much the same time. You just get lots of exercise. You know.
Bring
Yeah.
your lunch. Bring your lunch off.
You know.
Wow.
Any surprises in store for concert goers?
Any
Maybe,
surprises?
you know, it's a big, huge daddy or...
Well, there's always huge eddies.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. So let me think. I'm just trying to think of what kind of whiz bang thing I could see that they've never ever possibly seen before.
Now you're not using Great White's lighting system and pyrotechnics.
We're not using any pyrotechnics.
Oh, right, no. Oh, you haven't much, have you, in the past?
No, we haven't.
No.
I don't generally like loud bangs.
Right. I don't blame you.
Kind of a bit unmusical.
Yeah.
You know, never worried it before, but you know, it's one of those things that I never really saw the function of having some enormous bang that made everybody go, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, your audience.
So our main thing is, you know, is having a great light show, and we still indulge in old-fashioned. Our show is quite a sort of theatrical show in that we have a lot of old-fashioned backdrops, you know, hand-painted backdrops that we use. We bring them everywhere with us, you know, so that kind of stuff. It's that kind of a show. It's not. You know, it's not sort of necessarily glitz and glam type stuff. You know.
Right. Yeah.
We try and tailor the backdrop and things like that to be fairly specific about the particular track that we're doing, on the basis that the music is the thing and the band is the thing, not just the gleaming whatever you've got at the back of you. But at the same time, you know, we spent a fair few bucks on the show. And yes, there is a walk-on Eddie. There's a 12-foot, 14-foot Eddie comes out and dances around, and he's quite amusing. And then we have a very, very kitsch, tongue-in-cheek thing at the end that happens with Igor and Eddie's brain. So we've got that. Yeah.
When you look out these days into the audience, don't you see something like 3 generations of fans now?
Depends where you go,
Yeah.
quite frankly. In Europe, it's almost a mirror image. If I said that in Europe, 70% of our audience
Yeah.
is under 23,
Right.
and in America, 70% of our audience is kind of over 32.
Yeah.
And so much of that is to do with the type of venues and the way in which people are funneled in particular in this country. I mean, people try and do it in Europe, but I think people are a bit more resistant to it. But over here, between radio and MTV, that's pretty much it. You know, you're in a state of sensory deprivation if you're a kid. You get told what to go and see and what's cool.
Yeah.
And to escape out of that is, you really have to make an effort.
Right.
In Europe, it's much easier because there's a whole rack of magazines, and they come out every week, and everyone is bang up to date. So that's your source of information.
Yeah.
It has a bit more depth to it. People pick and choose what
take
they
it
want to go do.
seriously.
You tend to play smaller venues in England just because there's
No,
not as many.
absolutely not. No, we're
Wembley,
we're way
right?
bigger in Europe as a whole than we are in the US. Way bigger. We just played to 700,000 people in 28 shows in Europe.
Incredible.
I mean, you know, we played in Stockholm, for example. We played to 35,000 people in a football stadium. Not a festival, just us. And it's, you know, so those kinds of numbers, you know, are the sort of thing that we're going back, and that's without an album out.
Oh.
You know, this summer.
Yeah.
So, you know, over here, things get packaged. The very fact that we're touring with, you know, it's Dio, Motorhead, Maiden. It's a nice little segmented package for a certain age group.
Yeah.
You know, and everything else, which I realise it's unfortunate that that's just the way people think. But it's very sad because, you know, also going round at the moment is the band's Warped tour.
Right.
I can almost guarantee you that if you could by accident morph a Vans Warped audience, put them in front of Iron Maiden, they would absolutely rock.
Oh, absolutely.
They would love it.
Yeah.
But yet, that's not allowed to happen.
Right.
That must not happen under any circumstances.
It's such a division, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't hear Maiden on K-Rock.
No, you never hear Maiden on it, but you don't hear Maiden on any rock. I mean,
Right.
You don't hear Maiden on any radio station hardly
There's
at
a
all.
station, KLOS, here, that just lately has picked up, you know, 80s metal.
Oh yeah.
You hear lots of Scorpions.
You
Never hear Maiden.
No, you never hear Maiden.
I don't know why.
Why is that?
No.
I don't know why.
Because we're too aggressive, and we don't fit. You know, we don't do the old, you know, pulsing heartbeat type, you know, rhythm type thing. We don't do radio friendly songs. We don't. They're too
6 minutes
spiky.
long.
They're too spiky and aggressive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're either too spiky and aggressive, or they're 10 minutes long. You know.
Yes.
That's why the one song that we had that was suitable for radio was Rothschild.
Mm.
One of the very first songs
Here?
that came over here. Yeah, they loved Rothschild because it had a nice sort of groove to it, which is completely by accident.
Can I play with Madness here? I think it's
Can I Play with Madness here?
hit in America.
Flight of Icarus was a big hit here as well. That's why we don't ever play it.
Ah. Right.
But Flight of Icarus was a big hit on the radio. We refuse to play it live.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you busting out any rarely played songs this tour?
Well,
Covers?
we're having a wander through. We're playing, let me see here, Revelations and Die With Your Boots On, and these are tunes from Peace of Mind and things like that. At the same time, you know, we're playing songs from the two albums that, or one song at least, from the two albums that where I wasn't with the band for a while.
Yeah, I read some guy didn't like that.
Oh yeah.
When I read it online,
Oh
they're
yeah.
like, why are they making him sing?
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah.
making you sing this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
Well, I love that. I love that because that guy is the kind of guy that we like. Well, you know what? Why don't you just take a hike and go and listen back to your old '80s albums again, mate? Because the band is 13 albums into, got a new album coming out. Whether or not anybody gets it or doesn't get it, the fact is that we're going to sell at least 1 million records in Europe. We're going to sell 500,000 in South America and Japan and everywhere else. What happens in the States is in the lap of the gods. We did 300,000 the last one with no support. That's pretty
Pretty good.
That is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
amazing.
Well, it's pretty. It's outrageous for a band which doesn't get mass media support.
Right.
It's sort of, it's almost like it's Maiden is a large cult worldwide band, And whilst the live thing is rapidly becoming, certainly the rest of the world is becoming bigger. The Iron Maiden sort of event thing is becoming bigger than the Iron Maiden album thing, which is not surprising because we've never sold a phenomenal number of records. You know, at our peak in the record sale, I guess, which was sort of pretty mid '80s, I suppose.
Yeah.
We were selling two and a bit million worldwide.
Yeah,
worldwide.
Yeah,
that was it. Right?
Yeah.
So of that, you know, about one. I think the magic figure was always 1.2 million in the States and Canada together.
Right.
Like your core fan base who just finished up.
Yeah, 1.2 million States and Canada. That's
Yeah.
it. And you could almost set your watch by how many albums you sell with Maiden. Didn't matter what you did. Didn't matter whether the video got played in MTV. You know, it didn't matter. You know, no radio stations were going to go and play this record.
Yeah.
And you know, we were touring with Twisted Sister,
Yes.
who sold 3 times as many albums as we did, and they were supporting us.
Who's to figure? Yeah.
You know,
who can figure?
And but then, you know, their next album sang Without Trace, and so we're still here after 25 years and still selling, you know, 1.5 million plus albums to our fan base, you know, because we've never let them down, and we've never gone out and said, well, now let me see, what do we have to do to go and sell 13 million albums? No, we've never gone with it. We've always been completely anti, really anti-fashion. The whole, well, it goes with the whole People magazine.
Well, it wasn't fashionable when you started, was it? 79?
Well, Maiden wasn't fashionable. I mean, the punk thing was the big thing that was fashionable then. So Maiden was distinctly unfashionable then. We went through a period of time when we were in danger of becoming fashionable, but we were so unattractive that people decided that they'd dress up like Rat and Motley Crue instead.
Yeah.
But the good thing about us is that we have Eddie.
Right.
Eddie actually fulfilled all the things that, you know, every right-thinking rock star should be doing. But he's way more over the top and better at it, and he lasts forever.
Yes.
And he's funny. And he has a humorous quality and everything else. And he doesn't have to go into rehab.
Well, that's the thing with Maiden. You guys don't take yourself too seriously. Like,
Eddie in rehab.
Eddie in rehab.
What a concept.
It wasn't Graham Chapman's last appearance.
Yes, it
It
was.
was you,
Oh,
right?
it was.
In the video?
Oh.
It
Do you
was.
have any Did she give us a 2-minute warning, by the way?
Yes.
Did you?
Graham Chapman, it was, and that came via a friend of mine who was a filmmaker who edited all the Python movies and was executive producer, second unit guy on Jabberwocky and Time Bandits and all those movies, and he was doing the video, and he got Graham involved, and so he shot that particular video. It was tragic, you know. I mean, Graham it's one of those things that poor guy got, you know, throat cancer and died. But
He wasn't a big smoker, was he?
yeah, he might have smoked a pipe, unfortunately, and that's throat cancer.
Oh, that gets it, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why.
Who knows?
You can't sort of say, oh, it's his fault because blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
You know.
You're right.
Did you see the reunion where they brought him out and they had an urn? And I think Graham knocked it over or something.
Oh, yeah.
There was a guy came out and so
No,
nothing sacred with them.
No, nothing sacred.
Internet. Albuquerque Pavilion show last month was canceled, and they said
Cancelled about 3 months ago, I think.
well, July 15th. Maybe that was the date of the article, and it just said due to personal problems. But speculating what it was.
No,
You don't remember
personal problems. I mean, personal problems.
Let me go
buy your ticket sales.
Keep going. How many?
Right.
People come up with the wildest things that you know.
Dio. So you're touring with Dio. Is he on 5'4"? Is he taller than you?
No.
He's not.
No.
5'3" maybe. about that. It's usually when people say, "Oh, he's so short," they're 5'6".
No. He really is.
Really short.
Ronnie really is. He really is elfin in the. I mean, he's like a little elf. He really is.
He's one of the great voices of metal.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he opens his gob and it's like there's a herd of horses galloping out of it. The racket it makes. Phenomenal voice.
Trinity, I was reading about Trinity with Jeff Tate, who's my other favorite metal singer.
Nice idea. Nice idea. Came up that came up at. We were all sitting around once. Iron Maiden's manager said, "Wow, what a great idea! You, Jeff Tate, and Rob Halford. We'll call it Trinity. It'll be like the Three Tenors, but metal. What a great idea! Yes!" And I went, all of a sudden, people were asking me questions about it. It's a couple of years ago, and I said, "Look, it's not going to happen. First of all, the chances of us all being in the same place at the same time, even for a couple of days. And secondly, is anybody going to write this record? Who's going to write it? Who's going to do all this stuff?" And I actually made a stab at it with a friend of mine, and we got as far as 2 songs, which actually worked. The 2 songs actually worked, but it was really hard work. And what you were doing was you were writing, in effect, almost like a little sort of metal opera sort of piece for 3 separate singers that had to work as one song. I thought, God, this is going to take some considerable period of time. By which time, the other 2 guys involved might turn around and go, "No, we don't like this."
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen, Nice idea, though.
Your contemporaries, which when I say contemporaries, I mean kind of the metal bands from the 80s, part of the new wave. They've been releasing like re-recorded versions of their old songs and acoustic versions.
Okay.
Yeah, like re-recorded. Saxon's done that great way.
Okay.
Acoustic versions, orchestral versions.
Yeah.
Maiden hasn't done any of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you're not because I like hearing them, but at the same time.
Well, we don't. If we thought there was anything to be gained musically by doing it, if we thought there was any worthwhile purpose, then yeah, we might, But I don't think, I can't see any reason why there is. I mean, we released a DVD of Rock in Rio, which was the Brave New World tour, which served as a souvenir of the tour, basically one thing. And secondly, it's a most incredible gig. It really updated the live album, and I actually thought it was such a fantastic performance that it, well worth it. But we have a new album, and that's that's sufficient really. I don't think we have any plans to dog around with our past and remanufacture.
Right.
No, don't need fixing.
You don't need to. I mean, you go forward, you write new material, you produce new albums, you're moving forward.
So no
You're not like the
Part
Eagle.
3
Sorry?
trilogy. No Charlotte the Harlot Part 3 trilogy to be completed.
No, we haven't thought about the 4-part trilogy yet. No.
She's lost her teeth.
She's lost her teeth. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I like that. Yeah. Oh God, you want a credit now, won't you? Sue us. People do.
I I'll have my people call you.
I'll just take some of the merchandising, if that's okay.
Okay, a couple questions about your history. To be honest, I got into music around 82 and I was 10. Which is kind of early to get into, at least back then. 1992, I guess you kind of lost me, maybe partially because I went to college and that alternative scene came out, which was really good. And a lot of the bands that I liked from the 80s, I didn't really, I guess, like what they were doing. I don't know if my taste changed or if they kind of...
a lot of the 80s bands sucked. Particularly towards the end. Towards the end of the 80s.
Yeah.
It was awful. There was all that horrible tinkly keyboard shit, and it was all, old grannies with blue rinses used to like the kind of shit they were coming out with.
Besides Maiden, who you're my favorite band of the 80s. I'm not saying that.
What about
Saxon,
the 90s?
I really like Saxon. And I know they had no fashion sense. And
it's a good thing.
The albums were a bit uneven, but I really like Saxon and Scorpions too, were up there for me.
Yeah. Well, Saxon are good, some good tunes, and they're good blue collar, get on with it,
motorcycle riding.
Rock and roll band, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no real secret to it. You know, you just get on with it and rock and don't whinge.
Yeah.
Get on with it. Whinge. Is that a popular word?
No, it isn't weird at all.
Whinging and whining go together.
Ah, yes.
And whining tends to be the sound, whinging is the sentiment.
I got it.
Right. And then a band called Halloween, which kind of sounded like a German version of Maiden. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
heard
it's pretty
them.
accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the same management as us.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you don't mind if we delve into maybe 5 questions of the 80s? No, okay, because that's my expertise. I can ask you about your 3 solo albums.
Okay.
Brave New World I like. I just heard it like last week, and I like it.
That's Maiden now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, but let's check.
Have you read the Diano autobiography?
I got given it to review on the radio show that I do in England, and I read it, and I thought it was.
Fun.
I gave it to somebody else actually. Bless him. I mean, you know.
I love those first 2 albums.
No, I'm not talking about the records. I'm talking
nuts.
The book.
Yes, he's nuts.
Yeah.
He does whatever he wants, whenever he wants to, and somehow he always gets out of it.
Paul can be a wonderful fantasist.
Mm.
He had good things to say about you, though.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he did, and I've got good things to say about. I've got good things to say about him, but the biography about the Beast.
The Beast.
The Beast. I found it, you know, I found certain parts of it a bit gratuitous.
Yeah. So I guess that's him. Where do you meet him? You meet up, you bump into him at bars, or?
No, I haven't bumped into him for ages, actually. You know, I mean, the stuff that he did with Killers, and you know, and Diano, and the bands that followed on. He was actually doing some really good stuff. You know, he had some great bands together. You know, so you know, musically, I was actually a bit puzzled why he sort of almost why he needed to do the Beast thing. But you know, hey, whatever.
System, I guess.
Yeah.
What do we have here? 82, the whole devil worship thing was so. Even when I was 10, I knew how funny that was.
Yes.
And same with Motley Crue. You've seen their Shout the Devil album, and like, because you had one song that Steve wrote about the nightmares he was having.
Yeah. Well, we managed to get the devil worship thing to last for as long as we possibly could.
You didn't mention it in like an old.
Yeah, but eventually we tried everything. You know, the wearing horns and things like that, and stuff. And the great thing was that these people had such appalling sense of irony that they took everything you did completely seriously.
Yeah.
And literally,
Their music.
so it's very easy to wind them up. But then we started trying to wind them up in more sophisticated ways. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So we altered the Bible on a couple of occasions and quoted it on the back of the record.
Peace of mind.
Yeah.
Peace of mind, but they didn't notice. So we sort of gave up Beethoven after that. You know, and waited until Marilyn Manson came along and he got the same shit. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Your songs have always kind of been subject-oriented. Native Americans, you know, Run to the Hills.
Yeah.
Death Penalty from Hallowed Be the Name.
Yeah.
Anti-war song, 2 Minutes Midnight.
Yeah.
Nuclear. So you've got this fascination slash
The dark side of life.
appalling part to war, because it's hard not to glorify it.
Well, that's
You know
what
what I mean?
2 Minutes to Midnight is actually strictly. It's 2 Minutes to Midnight was the image of, you know, setting the hands of 2 Minutes to Midnight. You know, which was happened, the nuclear clock, which happened whilst we were writing the song. And I read about it, I thought, wow, cracking title for a song. But I just finished reading the book, which you probably heard of, Dispatches by Michael Hare.
Yes.
Which is an excellent book.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it was the phrase from Tim Flynn, it might have been.
Yeah.
At the end of it, where he was riding along and somebody said, why do you still keep doing this? You know, because he had a plate in his head and everything else, and he was sat there saying, you know, isn't war terrible? You know, you can't glorify it. He said, you can't glorify war. war is glorious. That's what's tragic.
Oh.
And it's the fact that it doesn't matter what you do about war, it's horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible thing. But yet we still put, what do? We put up plaques, we put things, and it's the glorious. I mean, I was in the Alamo yesterday, and all these poor fuckers died, were cut to bits, horribly, horribly mutilated. What a terrible way to die. And then there's these big white alabaster statues of all these poor sods up there. And you think, well, yes, they were heroes, but my God, what a terrible tragedy. But the machinery of war is awesome. I mean, you try to tell me that, you sit next to an F-15 or an A-10 tank and they're not blown away going, wow, what a piece of kit, You want to take that. Don't you give me a parking ticket, otherwise I'll take my Abrams tank and run you over.
It awakens the 12-year-old.
Exactly. And I took the book, the Michael Head Dispatches was the real genesis of that song, along with a quote from an American general to the effect that blood is freedom's stain, which is true, and it was undeniably true, and can also be used or misused to suit whichever particular freedom you happen to be justifying at the time, or whichever stain you happen to be justifying at the time.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that was what 2 Mr. Midnight was all about.
Yeah. Just a tongue-in-cheek thing, the backwards matching of Still Life.
Oh, yes.
Nico, I remember the first time I played that backwards, and it said, don't meddle with things.
Yeah. Well, this is quite topical, because Idi Amin's just died.
Yeah.
Kidney failure, unfortunately. He should have died of something much more horrible.
Like dismemberment.
Like what he did to all the other people
Right.
in this country. But anyway, there was a satirical record put out in the UK when Idi Amin was in full flight, doing horrible things to people. Basically satirising Idi Amin, and it was 2 British satirists, John Bird and I don't know who the guy was. Anyway, there was this guy doing an impression of Idi Amin, explaining to the press what had happened to his cabinet.
Yeah.
Because it had all been chopped up.
Right.
And it was Idi Amin mentioning that the spaceship had landed, and they'd all walked onto the spaceship and been taken away. And the aliens come out of the spaceship, and Idi Amin in his little voice, in his funny voice, says, "What-oo," said he military bouncers.
That's what he says.
What-oo. That's how the alien says, right?
Yeah.
Idi Amin speak.
Yeah.
So Nico cottoned onto this little thing, and kept wandering around in bars going, "What-oo, what-oo."
On your record.
So we got him on his drum stool one night in front of a microphone, drunk as a skunk in the Bahamas, and said, "We're going to do a backwards message, Nick. Come up with something." So he stood there and went, "What-oo," said he Lord, they don't understand. And then belched and fell off the stool. So turned it all backwards, and that's what you have. So it's really a very long-winded way of saying what it actually was. That's why nobody else has been able to comprehend it.
It wasn't devil worshipping or anything. It was. I heard that and I'm like, oh, that's
That is funny.
Derek Riggs. He's doing. They have like a Not Scary Farm.
Yeah.
In October, they do Not Scary Farm. They decorate it, and he's the one who did the decorations and the illustrations.
Oh right.
Yeah, I looked online. Okay.
Oh right.
They all look like Eddie.
See, do they? Well, yeah. Well, Derek got bored with doing Eddies. Basically, he got bored
Not
with
just what he was doing, was it? Is that all he did?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got bored with doing Eddies. Well, as far as Maiden was concerned, he was there to do Eddie, and he started kind of playing up, and they just got some different guys in. I mean, it's really as simple as that. He decided he wanted to become a musician at one point. He went off and started doing sampling and stuff, and then he got into doing lots and lots of things with computer graphics. I actually used him to do an album cover, and some of it was okay, but but a couple of guys came up with stuff that was really, really scary as well. So, you know, I think the realisation that there were lots of other artists out there as well as Derek who could do things, because a lot of what Derek did was actually quite was specified and quite closely controlled by the band and or the manager.
Yeah, what came first? Was it the song and he listened to it and then he kind of...
Well, you know, for example, the Power Slave cover.
Yeah.
Or the Peace of Mind cover even. You know, Power Slave or Peace of Mind cover. I mean, that one, Aces High, was, we all came up, we made, right, Aces High, Eddie in the cockpit, big bullet through the back of the head, and then the picture disc will be the spinning fields, as if the airplane's going down like that.
You said that for me, Fred?
Crashing. So we just told it. We told him what to draw, and he even specified Spitfire, bang, crosses on the side, off you go to it. And then he'd show us the drawing, and we say, oh no, a bit more like this, more scary expression and stuff. And so a lot of what he did was inputted by us. So, you know, whilst it was, you know, it was sad because he was, you know, he was a very nice eccentric guy to have around. It wasn't working after, you know, after 10 years.
Right.
Not surprising really. You know.
You can just rent it for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the personality. You know, you look at those album covers, not the CDs, but the album covers.
Oh yeah, and they're all.
What?
That band journey. Never mind. Did you mention the Iron Maidens?
No, that was one of the...
Okay, ask.
They're on your website as a tribute band.
Which ones?
The Iron Maiden.
The female ones?
The only all-female.
Okay, I've never met them, so I can't possibly comment.
I've seen them 3 times, and they're amazing. Once you get over the fact that it's 5, you know, good-looking women,
Rusty
and they're
bitch.
playing Maiden, which is amazing in itself. I don't know any girls.
Yeah, we're not sure. I know, and all the band are looking at the female maidens, and we're thinking, well, we're not quite sure how our sexuality feels about looking at this. Do we fancy ourselves?
I've been to lots of concerts, and they're the hardest rocking band I've seen.
Right, really.
Well, they have to be. They're Maiden. They're playing Maiden.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Well, we think it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Your mission from Ari?
Yes,
Mission from Ari.
it's all true. It's all true.
Have you heard Oasis doing the Woodwing Rivalry?
No.
You know how the brothers are famous for fighting?
Yeah, it's
the
similar
same
thing,
deal.
is it?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, you can check that out if you can find it. And the movie Spun. Billy Corgan's new band called Zwan.
Oh yeah, they've done Number the Beast.
Have you heard it?
I love it.
I think it's amazing.
I love it.
It's a slow bluesy note.
Yeah, I love it. I love anything. I mean, there's been a lot of tribute bands done tributes to Iron Maiden and things like that. And I must say, I've never seen the, you know, it's nice, but I would prefer if people took our songs and really messed with them.
Reworked it like they did.
Like they did.
Yeah.
Because I find that really interesting. I thought that this one thing was brilliant. I heard it and I loved it. I thought he did a great job. You know? I know some people hate it. I love it.
Well, you did the Zoo, Scorpion, and you were pretty true to that one.
Yeah, exactly. It was all sort of fairly straightforward.
It's weird that you guys covering like another kind of 80s metal band.
Yeah, well,
that was
why we did that.
for the wrestling soundtrack. Or something.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, I think that they sort of said, "Oh, just do that," and I did a couple of other things as well. That was with other bands. They'd done the soundtrack and asked me to do it. It's a bit unsatisfactory, really. I stopped after a while doing those kinds of things because after a while you just turn up and sing it, and I'm not really sure what you were putting of yourself into it, particularly.
Yeah. We're summing up. I just have a question about, a lot of your music is kind of, the guitars are classically influenced, obviously, and you incorporate a lot of, or the guitars incorporate a lot of Mid-Eastern melodies, you get that Egyptian sound, whatever that means. And now, today's metal, I'm talking like 90s metal, and now the new metal, the NU.
Yeah.
To me, it's like this post-grunge drop tuning where you got that crunch,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's melodic.
No, it's not.
Lots of rap metal, which I like rap
hate
and I
that.
like metal. I never liked rap metal, even when I was
What do
12.
you think of that genre?
I don't want you to bash anything, but I
No,
want
why
to
not?
know you guys kept
I
the
think-
classical,
no, there's-
classic style.
There's, well, there are only a few bands that are still going to be around in 3 or 4 years'
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Of all of these various, all of these various genres, and basically the ones that are going to be around are going to be the ones that write tunes and the ones that play live, that develop a following and things like that. And I just don't hear too much of that. I hear an awful lot of bands just descending into what I could describe as sort of stylistic abuse, whereas they just steal a style.
Yeah.
Like they come in and they wear somebody's coat and they think it makes them a film star.
Mm.
I'm wearing Jimmy Cagney's clothes, I must be a movie star. And you're not, because you don't have the substance underneath it.
It's about melody. I don't care if you're metal and you want to play loud. You gotta have the melody.
It's tuned. I think too many people get into and very derivative kind of stuff. I also think that some of the lyrical content is just sometimes a bit risible sometimes.
Lyrically,
Yeah.
it's more angry now.
Yeah, I know,
And in the
I know,
80s,
but-
I listened to 80s metal, and it was just about kind of like anti-authoritative, you know.
Yeah,
kind of
but also, the angry stuff, I sit there and listen to the angry stuff, I'm like, well, what exactly you got angry with?
Yeah.
Why exactly are you so angry? And how can you're some middle class white boy,
Yeah.
and you're really, really angry, professionally angry, in fact. You're
Yeah.
angry for the last 3 albums.
Professionally angry.
I mean, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
Yeah.
I should see something about that, But it's like, no, you can't. You've got to write music because you like music. Some of these bands write music, right? They don't like music.
Yeah.
What have you got against music?
Yeah.
What have you got against a tune or a melody?
Yeah.
I can understand if it's really, like some of the really raw fuel punk stuff. And there's some bands from, like LA, like the Downset and things like that, that were like rapping poets and things like that, with really, really, really aggressive stuff going on. But there aren't that many people like that around. There's an awful lot of people that copy stuff like that and think, I have to sing like really, I'm like, it's kind of stupid. You're just following following this, this trend that's really leading absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
But we shall see what goes on. I think a lot of kids vote with their feet. I mean, you're getting the big split now with a lot of bands where they're selling a lot of records, but they couldn't sell out the posting of a letter in terms of selling tickets.
Yeah.
And it's selling tickets is in a sense what is really real, because that's
your real fans. That's who wants to come see you.
yeah, well that's your future career for the next record.
Mm. Yeah.
So we'll see what turns out in the next few years. I'd say as well, this is not an environment in which I would want to be starting to make
No.
music now. It's very chaotic and uncertain, and until they all figure out how they're going to pay musicians in the future, and what they're going to pay them for.
Yeah.
The whole thing is going to get very uncertain.
Yeah. By the way, what station is your radio show on over there?
BBC.
Oh, BBC One?
No, I've got a show on BBC Six Music, which is their digital stuff. Which is all on the web and everything. I do 6 hours a week on there, obviously not at the moment.
No.
And I also have a show on Radio 2.
Radio's fun, isn't it?
It is fun.
Yeah.
You know, we have a good gossip on our show, and we have guests on, and everything else. And,
it sounds like fun.
So,
Yeah, I'm going to check that out.
Interesting.
Okay, anything else?
We're done here. Would you mind signing my
Well, of course not.
record?
Yep.
Picture?
Cool.
Yeah, that's the double 12-inch box that was in 88, I guess.
Skinny.
You are incredible. How have you... I'm going to start flying. It'll keep me in shape.
No, it won't. You sit on your ass for hours on end and eat hamburgers. Don't do that.
Need a picture?
Yeah, sure.
You want me to get you two? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how to work this thing.
Yeah, you press, the red button.
When I look through the thing and press the red button?
Yeah. When I started flying professionally, and they said, what size waist are you?
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm a sort of 32. I said, but you better get me a 34. I said, because I've seen the signs of some of these pilots.
Right. Okay, 2, 3. Did it work?
Hold it down.
Oh, hold it down.
One more.
Okay, fine.
Do something else.
Smile, both of you. Hey, that's
Nice.
great, man.
See? That's why Maiden's cool. They don't want to be cheesy.
Maiden, did you have any idea when you started this thing would last so long?
Oh, no, you're going to be kidding. Yeah. You're going to be kidding. Absolutely none whatsoever. No. I mean, you think sort of like, maybe 8 months, 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, but sitting there going, gosh,
Yeah. So, when you were a teenager, did you go hear bands like Free before the hit and that kind of thing?
No, I was at boarding school.
Oh, you were at boarding school.
So,
right. Yeah.
So I was locked in.
Right. Yeah.
But we actually had bands come from school.
Yeah.
And so I saw some sort of relatively unknown obscure bands.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I thought, wow, this must be like... So I used to imagine what all these bands did on stage. And actually, they didn't do anything like what I imagined. They just kind of stood there and went,
Yeah.
But I imagined they were keeping around, wow, and flying and everything, like the Marquis de Sade, locked in with only toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then sex this way, this way, this way, this way,
Right.
I used to imagine concerts like that.
Right.
And then when I got into a band, I went, I'm going to do all that stuff that I imagined,
Yeah.
And then I saw my sort of heroes when I was much later.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, well, I've got my own shit then,
That's brilliant.
It came about just purely by accident.
Yeah. Just developed.
You run around a lot on stage.
Yeah, I do,
Yeah.
Straight to adolescent imagination.
Right. I mean, so if you had been, really going to the club and hearing everyone at the very beginning at the Marquee and that kind of thing, Iron Maiden may not have happened. I've probably been really bored. They were changing everything. He plugged fast up a bit, doesn't he?
Who's that? Oh, yeah.
Whoever it is. Oh, gosh. He's done it himself. Who was that? Corrado. Costello. We have one done it for
So anyhow,
Yeah, brilliant.
you've got enough ammunition there to completely slaughter me.
Good. Well, we're gonna
try it.
not only that, we're gonna airbrush your head into Axl Rose's body.
Oh my God, what a horrible
Let's
force.
put that in below magazine.
Oh, God, that's like little Nicky.
The height of the gods. Right. The height of the gods.
Well, if you ask Ronnie Dio.
Hey, how tall is Alan Ladd,
How tall was Alan Ladd?
Very, very short.
What?
Yeah. You look at all those people.
Yeah. Bogart, I think, too.
Oh, Bogart's tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
Jeff Beck is tiny. Have you met him?
Like tiny,
He's
yeah.
like 5'6".
Are you gonna see Mick Jagger?
Right.
Who you think already?
Yeah.
Paul Rogers. Frankie Miller.
Frankie Miller?
Yeah. How's he doing? Is he all right? Young from a while ago. But England and
Robert Plant?
yeah, Robert Plant is very.
I'm the England.
Well, look, we'll let you get on with it.
That's got a laptop in it. That's loadable. That one's got all my other shit in it.
There's nothing really.
Well, that's a backpack at least, though.
Are you? Do you need some help carrying it on?
That's all right.
Sure.
There's nothing really you can do about this without like pulling something. That's all right. That was real nice of you to do this. Yeah. Really nice. Okay, we're going to head on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
See you at the show, maybe.
Put it on with it.
On beach?
Yeah. One beach. Well, I'll call Christine.
Yeah, Mark and I are working on it, yeah.
Sure, I'll call you tomorrow morning. We'll figure all that out. Great. Okay. Cheers. Okay, we'll remember. Cheers. Hey, bye. Right, please.
That's my favorite song. Eric the House.
Is it?
Keep with him.
Look, let's take the chairs.
So bad.
You
So bad. You know?
All right, let's go. You can.
It's hurting.
Never seen anyone pee as much as you in my entire life.
You're drinking a lot.
Ever.
Hot. So you're offended, right?
Yes, I am actually. I was going to tell them. I didn't want to say that I wasn't before. But yeah.
I mean, you can't not do musicianship.
No.
You know, everything is
That's true. No, I can see that. I can see that. Okay, you know where you're going, right?
Is this the same?
Yeah, and I'll just be right out here in the lobby. Yeah, I'm all set. In the lobby, yeah.